Hello one, hello all. This is Zelly from Kelly&Zelly Gaming. Hey guys. Hello. I will be playing Mario Kart Tour today for you guys. So last time I did a Mario Kart video, it was for the green tokens and kind of how you go about best in achieving those. So this time around, I'm going to be going through the tour. I'm going to probably create two videos about each tour. One for the first part and then the second part when it gets released for it itself too. I thought in the meantime, in this video, I'll probably put segments to where I am doing the cannon for Fire and Rubies like I'm about to do now. I'll probably put one for the tours themselves, going to do the tours, so each circuit and which one I choose. And then after that, I'll probably do the challenges. And I'm not sure if it's that order, but I'll probably list the three of those throughout the highlight of this video. Okay, so back to what's happening right now. Right now I'm about to fire off the cannon for Summer Festival 1. So right now I'm about over 45 to get a full 10 firings from the cannon. So in the firing 2 for each cannon you can get a Mario character, a glider, or a cart, typically speaking from these. And just like any other, Fire Emblem Heroes one actually, the appearance rate of those are going to be reduced for the rarer ones. So you're going to be most likely to get the more common ones that you'll need to level up and kind of go from there. With that being said, the more you fire, the more you'll have another chance to... Each time you have a full fire, there's 100 in each one. You'll have a chance to fire 10. So that's 1/10 of the whole thing. So you have a 1 in 10 chance, I guess, technically speaking, if you want to think of it like that. But the stats for the percentages don't show that. For the super ones, like this one right here. And it's... Mario Happy! The bomb cannon. So that's high end. So that's really good. So again, getting a high end or super rare or just rare ones probably aren't going to be coming up as often. So you're probably likely to see people getting the more common ones than anything else. But there are a few pulls every 10 of them that do get a few high end ones too, which is super nice to see. Just because they usually give you more points in the circuits when you go ahead and do them. That and just there's fewer of them to go ahead to upgrade from level 1 to level 6. So that being said, I got 1 high end and a few more commons and like 2 rares. So kind of typical to see for something like that. So as you can see, Mario Hoppy's already in the Tokyo Blur 3 too, so I could probably use him in there if I want to. But beforehand, I'm going to go through and just show the stats as far as the percentages based upon the high end to the super, the normal, and then the spotlight. So the spotlight and the high end I think are along the same trend where there's like one of them. But again too, as you see, the percentages of getting these ones are pretty low. So since I got the character Mario Hoppy, it's going to be 0% because I just got one from it. So there's 1 high end I got from it, and that's it. So really there's 6 high end items you can get from the pipes themselves. So again too, if you want to think of it, it's almost like 6 out of 100, if you will. Which I'm not sure the percentage on that, but it's not too high. But it's not the worst though either. But every time you do pull 10 or 1 or however many you want to, though, it doesn't increase your chance. It doesn't necessarily increase your chance of getting a super rare next time. It makes, if you didn't get it before, it definitely gives the option that you might pull it a little bit higher, but not terribly higher. So you might have to kind of weigh your odds as far as if you want to pull again or what the case is. And as you see, I got like a bunch of carts, gliders, and things, and I'm just buying stuff from the shop with my coins. And but overall, it doesn't really pay to... I shouldn't say it doesn't pay. You can definitely use money to get rubies if you wish to pay for the game itself. But if you want the free version of it, for the most part, you can do everything. You can actually do it without the gold pass too. But the gold pass does enable you to get more rewards when you do play than you would if you didn't. So I think it's about every time you get a reward from the start tickets you typically get about 2 items. Or 2 items from it. And then if you have the gold pass, you typically get 2 to 4, depending on what start ticket it is, kind of ranging from there. So the gold pass, I think, again, is like a monthly subscription where it's $3 or $4, where it's not make or break the bank, but it's definitely nice to have that on you. It gives you an extra challenge board that enables you to achieve more items from your from your... What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? So it gives you another challenge board, and it also enables you to get more items from when you go up on the hierarchy as far as getting item boxes and rewards back normally. So there's also a plus to that too. Plus you get to race in 200cc, which is technically a little bit faster, but in my opinion 200cc is just too fast. The perks of having the gold pass is nice itself, but I don't typically like to race 200cc, just because if you want to do the free version or the gold version, 150cc usually is for all the rewards, and you don't have to do anything higher than that usually. So the game doesn't require you to go to 200cc, but you can do it if you wish to pay a monthly subscription for it. Again, that's your own accord, you don't really have to, but you would get more rewards and more things technically added to the game. So for the low cost of it, I definitely have the gold pass because it's not that huge of a deal, and it doesn't make or break the bank. And it's not like I'm going to spend $40 to $100 on a mobile game, you know, every month. I don't have put aside amount for just that. If I did, I would, I don't know, I would have to have a lot more income or a lot more funds to do so. I don't really see that happening to reasonably do that, you know. I'm just a little short on the 5-star for this one, so I think I might go back and redo that. Otherwise, I think I'll probably just continue. And as you see here too, I'm just going to go through, and I'm not even really looking at the challenge board right now. I'm just going through and just doing the maps as they are, kind of going along here. And again, too, every time you clear a board, you get coins based upon what card you have filled in. And eventually, if you fill in the whole card, you get an extra bonus behind it too. Depending on each challenge board is different what you get for your reward. So you'll have to see if it's worth filling in, and if it's possible, and if it's, yeah, just worthwhile to do so. So this is a new map. This is, I think, Tokyo Blur 3T. And I'm using my newly but just obtained King Bomb-omb. He's really cool. I like him a lot. You know, in the 64 version, he didn't really talk a whole lot besides just the one sound effect he did for himself on top of Bomb-omb Mountain, or hill, or whatever that place was called, for the Bomb-omb Battlefield. For the 64 game. But it is kind of cool to see them kind of go back and add more sound effects for Bomb-omb. King Bomb-omb, sorry, Majesty? So, yeah, it is very cool to see that, because otherwise, besides you just literally tapping in front of him and he says, you know, you really don't see anything besides that. So hearing other sound effects from him in this game is a little odd, I have to say. But it is cool that they actually added more character development to him. I'm not really sure about the development, but maybe the sound effects and just other... Yeah, and his ultimate move, the Mega Bomb, is really something else. It's a huge bomb explosion. So instead of the ability to throw it behind you, you can only throw it in front of you. But this thing bounces, and I feel like it homes in on people in front of you, even though it doesn't necessarily say that or do that. I feel like that's the case when doing so. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I like his stash. I like his overall design too. It reminds me of just like the version from Mario Party for the Switch, which is definitely there for you to go see. Yeah, so this is a new character. I don't have nearly enough points. I'm 3,000 away from the 5-star on that map. I don't think I'm gonna go back and go for the 5-star. It's too far to reach, and again, you'd have to upgrade a lot more and spend more rubies to get more items and more upgrades in the game. So I think I'm gonna be fine with just ignoring that one. Not ignoring, but just letting it go for now. And again, too, on these challenges too, when you go through the courses, you'll innately just end up completing some of them without even really looking into it. Because there's a lot of the stuff you do on the map really goes hand in hand with what you do on this challenge board without even realizing it. And so I've pretty much done that for a majority of these, minus just a few. But those few are very specific though. Usually the 2 ones are a little bit tougher and usually have a little bit more to deal with. So I have to cause a frenzy 4 more times and crash into people, and then earn a score of 10,000 or more with a person with a mustache. And that's very easy to do too. Again, too, you're just going to have to look for a map that would definitely give major points to somebody with a mustache, such as Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, Wario, Peach? No, she doesn't have a mustache. Yoshi? No, that doesn't have a mustache. Other characters that are either good or bad that have mustaches, typically speaking. The babies do not count. They do not have mustaches yet. And yeah, there you go. So right now, just doing every circuit that you do also has a fourth one that is just special compared to the others, where it's not you're racing other opponents or anything like that. It's more or less you have to either blow up enough Goombas, you have to glide a certain distance for this one, you have to outrace other racers, you have to outrace a huge version of one of these monsters. It's generally speaking what you typically see on these here. And on this screen, this is the reward center for the Summer Festival Tour. And as you see me going through, I'm just going through and just seeing what I got for my most recent packages. Again, the ones in red are the gold pass items you can get along with everything. If you don't have it, you can't get it. So you're missing out on about half the rewards for the first part of it if you don't have a gold pass, which you can easily get, and you can easily subscribe, or you can either get, or you can also, if you don't want it, you can also, it's really easy to get rid of it too. So I think it's a week or a month free for when you first try it. And on an iPhone at least, there's a setting you can go to where if you don't want to have it anymore, you can simply just go to that setting and just choose unsubscribe or on something. I forget what it is, but essentially it takes you off of their payroll for the subscription fee or the membership fee for it, so then you won't get charged for it. But unlike most things that happens with like Amazon or any other membership, if you take it for trial, they'll usually charge you for a membership shortly after. So if you go past the trial period of when you try to use something like that, they're probably going to try to sign you up for a membership deal for the Gold Pass. So you want to be aware of that, but you're going to use the Gold Pass or not for this. Which again isn't a huge deal, it's like $3 or $4 I think. But it's something to consider when playing this game though too. It makes the rewards and you playing it a little bit more doable. I shouldn't say doable, it just makes you so you get more rewards, so I think it keeps you playing the game a little bit longer through the day. You know. Otherwise, yeah, it would just be pretty simple of racing through the circuits, getting as much as you can, but again too, a lot of these circuits you see right now are going on based on current tours that are going on the characters that are involved in them. So it's going to be proven to be most useful if you get those characters and items, gliders and karts for each map to do, or each circuit. But sadly, it's going to cost you rubies, and you're going to have to either save up or spend real money. So with that being said too, I think the Gold Pass is a great way to kind of accumulate rubies and other items in the meantime when doing circuits just for fun. It doesn't cost a whole lot. It's similar to like the Nintendo Switch membership fee when you do like Nintendo stuff online for like the Nintendo Super Nintendo and other items you can see. Again, to some other membership fees, you know, that you see otherwhere online and stuff like that's gonna be like $10 to $20 a month, and that's kind of a bigger deal just because, typically speaking, you don't want to have to pay something for that much through the year. You know? So if it's $3 or $4, I'm not trying to sell it, but I guess I am because I have it. But if it's just $3 for, you know, $12 or $4, so it's going to be $36 to $48 for a year subscription for the Gold membership pass, which again isn't the end of the world, but it's something to be considered. That one got a 5 stars, so it's great. On this one, I think I knew you had to crash into people, so that's what I did to kind of finish that one off. Getting more coins, great. At the end of this, you're going to see a bonus I get for the whole panel. And so it'll be a quick ticket. And what a quick ticket does, it enables you to access a circuit that much quicker than having to wait for it. Typically, you'll be given so many raceways to do within a certain given period of time, and you're going to have to wait so long for another one to appear. But if you don't want to wait, you can use a quick ticket in exchange for that to get a head start. Again, too, I think it's a quick ticket for each time you finish the first challenge, but I think maybe rubies or either a gold rush ticket too for the second one that comes out. Because the tours themselves come out in 2 phases. There's the first part where they get released, and you can do pretty much, I think, like half of the cups that you're working on, the cup circuits, and then Secondly, you have to wait about I think about a week or so, and then the second part will be out for you. So the circles will gradually be released throughout the week, day by day, after a certain while. And then you can do the challenge board, the whole challenge board, the second challenge board, when you're able to. And that's usually about a week after the tour for that section begins. For the summer tour, for example, it's been 2 days since I started this, so it's going to be about 5 more days until the second challenge board becomes available. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Again, too, the scope of this game when you're playing it is essentially to choose a character that you're going to be able to really rack up a bunch of points and just remain a combo streak throughout the whole course as long as possible, if you can. And in doing so, it will give you a greater score at the end, which will need for those star tokens, I think is what they're called. But those star tokens enable you to get rewards and stuff that you see on the circuit or the tour guide itself. So it's imperative for you to choose the right character, choose the right glider, choose the right card, and you can really rack up some really high scoring points. I think the highest score I've seen has been around 22,000 to 25,000. It was remarkably high. I don't ever typically see something that high, but usually the person, if that's the case, if that's something that high, usually has their cart, their driver, their glider all maxed out, and it's usually all maxed out, and they're able to carry on a combo that much longer, because the higher items are upgraded from level 1 to level 6 for your card, person, or glider, the longer you can maintain a combo, whether it's in the air, whether it's on the ground, whether you're hitting somebody with an item, whatever the case is. So in this game, you want to improve your items, your cart, person, and glider to a higher level, so you have a higher chance of maintaining a combo to get a better score on all these courses, so you can get better star tokens from it. And so, yeah, like that one, I had Luigi score 10,000 or more with a mustache, which was perfect. I think all I need to do now is do the Frenzy one, where you have to have a person that has the ideal character for a course, and then they're going to have to get an item box, and then it's by chance the item box typically will give you a certain percentage for a frenzy, and your character will show you too what percentage you have a chance for a frenzy every time you go into an item box. So that's a thing too that you'll have to be aware of too. But frenzies are pretty unique too, where if you get a frenzy, you're typically invincible, you have star power, you go a little bit quicker, and you have unlimited use of that specific item for a little while. Typically between 5 to 10 seconds, and then it vanishes and you go back to normal. Kind of like a normal star power. But in this game, it's a little bit different than the other Mario Karts where you've seen in the past, where you get an item, and then you go from there. One thing I have to give props to for this game in general, which I really enjoy, is that no matter if there's a person that steals an item box from you, it doesn't matter, because everybody gets an item. Like Oprah, when she gives away a bunch of samples and items to her guests on the show. So that's super nice, just because I know there's a ton of times where in other previous games where you're racing and you want to get an item box, you're like, I want to have the power, I want to have the ability to have randomness choose my fate. And a lot of the time you miss out because the person in front of you has stolen the item box, which is super infuriating. But in this game, that's not the case at all, because everybody gets a box no matter if it's there or not. You literally will get a box every time, which is super nice for all the players playing. Because I can attest, it's been very aggravating to play a game of Mario Kart at times, and to have something like that happen to you in the very last part of it, where a person from behind uses a very powerful item to either stun you or knock you out or over, and finishes the cross the line way after you, and you went from 2nd place to 8th place, the typical Mario Kart fashion. But this time, I think it kind of levels the playing field with that being said too, so people aren't as upset and afraid. But it's very interesting. I really like the change they added to it. Yeah, so a lot of these I'm going through and getting 5 stars just because I have the typical players that you need for them. See at the top there for Frenzy. Usually the top row is the ones you want for this level, just because those ones will garner you the most points. That's not always true, just because there's different levels, and as you level up each item too, it will give you a different combo bonus as far as how long the duration will last, how many points you get from it too. So it's important to kind of look over that information, but more or less the moral of the story for this game is if you get more copies of the item itself, the higher level it gets, and the higher the chance of continuing your combo gets to get star points to get more rewards. So if you have that in mind, you'll be in good hands. But yeah, so this again too I think is a Tokyo Blur level. I kind of feel like these levels are okay. I'm not too crazy about them just because it is like the city life, but at the same time too they seem very short. Maybe it's just me thinking about it, but the older school ones that they brought back for this game that they kind of remastered in a way, and other things of the sort definitely feel longer, and I think a lot much more than Mario-esque kind of fantasy levels people would want to see. Not saying this isn't beautiful or wonderful, but I feel like this is kind of too realistic and kind of not as fun, if you will. I don't know, something about it kind of doesn't really drive that well with me, but that's okay. This would be Baby Bowser with a pirate suit on a cart, racing. Yeah, so that's what, and you know, playing this game too every day is really fun for the most part. You know, there's not really a time where you're spending, you know, like 2 hours on this game per se, but something like this for a mobile game, to keep in perspective though, you shouldn't be on it too long where it's controlling your whole entire life, but it is very fun to get immersed and actually enjoy it for a change. Yes, 5 stars again. Yeah, because typically you'll log in, you'll go through the circuits and the raceways, and that'll typically take up about, I don't know. The first part of it, if you really grind it out, could take you up to like an hour and a half. But if you just do it like little bit by little bit, you know, like one circuit at a time, that could just easily be between like 10 minutes or so. I mean, each race takes you roughly about 3 minutes or so you'd be looking at around 12 minutes, roughly, for each circuit, depending on, you know, of course, the level, if it's long, short, if it's going to be tough or difficult to repeat it. But typically, you really don't have to repeat these unless you're really having a hard time struggling or something like that. And there'll be some levels, too, that you just don't have the characters or the points for, which is fine. You don't have to spend more money to make yourself feel better because you have a better chance of getting higher characters and higher rewards from it. You don't have to do that. All you really have to do is just play it to your heart's content, and then, you know, gradually over time, you'll accumulate carts, points, and other things to really kind of help yourself push yourself forward to get those 5 stars for most things. You know, it's just the nature of the state. State of nature? State of nature for this game. Yeah. And there's also other opportunities too, which they try to really throw at you to buy things. Again, you don't really have to, unless you're like, oh man, you know what? That cart's in a lot of the circuits, and that would really give me a huge advantage towards getting a lot of those star tokens. Then it would be maybe a little bit worthwhile to do so. But again, too, I mean, you really don't have to spend money per se, just like any mobile game, you know. You don't have to unless it literally shows you a cost on the app screen when you're actually, you know, going to download it. But this one is free, and unless you use real money from your wallet, it usually stays that way. But when I first started out, I didn't really have the gold pass, and I didn't realize how much I was like missing out. Like, they would give you a few of like the rubies and stuff like that, but you'd be missing like 25, 30, like massive amounts, and you'd be getting so few over the amount of time. I'm like, well, in order for me to play this to really enjoy, get the rewards, and really reap the rewards from this, I'm really going to have to get the gold pass, because I feel like if you don't get the gold pass, it's really, I feel like it's just not as, like, if you were to really get higher scores and maintain a good streak, I really wouldn't think it'd be worthwhile. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to. It's free of charge. On this level, we're taking it back to old school classic level, Koopa's Beach, with Mario and his zucchini cactus, I think, vehicle. Very cool, if I may say. Ice Mario. He's a high end too, and mine's level 3, so the combo point should be relatively pretty high. Now, this level itself doesn't usually have a whole lot of things to keep your combo going besides just doing manual drifts and running the coins and stuff like that too. But in this game, usually Mario Kart Tour's combos continue to lead if you are doing drifts and you let off and you boost from it, or if you hit somebody with an item, or if you boost with a mushroom, if you go off a jump, and there's other ones too to continue your combo. But as you can see too, there's different changes that they've made to each course too since it's been released. Since this was like 1980 or 90s, I think this course was made for the original console. But those are the general things they'll keep together. So like that's a frenzy, and a frenzy is a free combo meter extender, if you will. Just because you can spam it and it continues your combo no matter how much you have left. So that was 28 combo, which is pretty good. It's pretty decent. 8900, that seems pretty high for this level. So just because there's not a whole lot to really combo off of. So it should be about 5 stars, if not, I would hope. Yeah, okay, cool. 5 stars. Yeah, and so simply just like that, you gain some coins from it too, which you add to your stockpile. You can only collect so many coins per day, no matter if you have the gold membership or not. I think before it was 300, now they opted to 600, I believe. So, yeah, every time you complete a map, you get coins based off of your performance too. So getting in combo is really imperative to getting better items, better coins, better ways to buy things, and really accelerate your lead in the game. I say lead just because to level your characters and actually make it so that they can do a pretty good job in getting combos and getting points for you to reap the rewards. So this level 2 is also a callback to the N64, which is the first game of Mario Kart I've ever played. I played the Super Nintendo and the other ones previously, but the 64 has a dear to my heart one just because it's the first console I had and the second game I've ever played. And at the time, it was amazing. I loved every bit of it. There wasn't a part of it I did not like. Minus the fact if I lost just because I was a little kid, it got kind of annoying. I hated to lose, but that's okay. So for this one too, I was trying to complete, there was another challenge where you had to complete by using a frenzy to make people crash 10 times. And I was only so few away, and I just completed it, I think, on that map. If not, I think I might come back to it again and finish it. But going back to the good old days for this world though, Peach's Runway, or Castle Runway, or whatever it's called, is something else, because at this point in the game too, you could see Peach's castle off to the distance. You can go over there, but you can never go inside of it. So it's almost like a landmark, or it's just like you played the Super Mario 64 game, and you're like, oh, I see it over there. Man, I really want to get over there, and I really want to see what's inside. But when you get over there, you can just explore the outside. There's nothing to the inside, which was kind of, for whatever reason, as a kid, I was really hoping it did program or develop. And I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to see that. But essentially, they never did it, just because it's about the racing and not about the castle. Even though I'm sure every kid growing up probably did that. Yeah, and just the soundtrack too, and just the remastered visuals, updated visuals for this look great. I can't express that enough too. You know, I think they really did themselves a wonderful deed in bringing this back to kind of bring back nostalgia a little bit for folks, and just to show them too, like this is like kind of like a Mario Kart level where it's kind of like twisty, turny, kind of turns everywhere, and you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's fun to watch and it's fun to see how things kind of play out for this map too. It's super cool. Even though my characters and the stuff I use for this map aren't extremely high, I still liked it. It brings back nostalgia for me, and it looks pretty cool. I think if they could bring back another one from the 64, I don't know. I have to say, I mean, Rainbow Road's always like a pretty famous one, and there's already like 3 or 4 in the tour one itself. Just depends on when it gets played. Boo's are okay. Yoshi's Valley, kind of, I don't know. Nah. I think if I had to choose another one, I probably would be... Oh, I was thinking like... Oh, choose, I don't know. They already included Cocoa Mountain and Frothy Peak, or Snowland. Those ones are pretty cool too, because I usually like elementals, so like fire, water, earth, kind of stuff too. Courses, so pretty cool to see that kind of thing. I think like another one from the 64 particularly. Moo Farms is always a classic too, that people like it a lot too, which I think they have. Well, at least for the other console ones. I'm not sure about the mobile ones, but I'm sure they could easily do that. There's also that DK Jungle one, which I thought was pretty neat too, which I thought would be really cool for them to bring back. They brought back a different one like that. Maybe they will in the future coming cups, we'll see. But as each one gets released though, they come back with new courses from different series to add to it. Which again too, I think is a wonderful thing for them to do. Again, part nostalgia, part just the playability of it. Yeah. So if there's another course you guys like, please comment below as to what you would like to see, based upon what was your favorite Mario Kart course from different series. Whether it was from the DS, whether it was from, GameCube, your 64, your Super Nintendo. It could be from anything, really. I mean, they've shown that in this game here that they're able to do pretty much any series. They can bring back remaster and make it for the mobile device, which looks pretty darn good. So, yeah, that's definitely something really cool I really enjoyed about them when I first started playing the game and getting to know it a little bit more. Oh, it's just short of the 5. Oh, it kills me inside a little bit. Just a little bit. Those toads are so happy I cleared it. Yay! And I think I'm one away from finishing the Frenzy mode. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably go back to... Okay. Oh, you know why? I forgot that when your character's not the prime member for that level, you can't get Frenzy, which means you can't get the rest of the challenge for this. So, that's kind of an issue. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to race around till give some more, which I don't mind. It's kind of cool. See all the different skyscrapers, all the different planes, all the different buildings, all the different townsfolk that are hidden inside and doing their daily jobs in their office works in corporate. It's truly amazing. Getting to see the tailgates, putting eyes on everything. It's always a little wonderful thing for Mario Series 2, whether it's the hills, whether it's creatures, whether it's just inanimate objects in general. Like those buildings could easily have eyes on them, looking at you, but they don't. But they should. Although, if the building's alive, are the people eaten by the building, or are they just not affected by the building even though it's alive? I don't know. I don't have Nintendo's mind, so I can't answer that question, but I can always think about it. Oh, I released that in too quick. Yeah. Again, too. Very cool aesthetics, too. I would love to be a part of their team and developing this stuff, too. That'd be really neat to do. Because ever since I was little, too, I've always played Nintendo stuff. I had a chance for a GameCube, Xbox, or PS2. I didn't have... my friends already had GameCube, so I didn't really have to worry about it. So I got a PS2 in the meantime, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Which it was. I like PS2 things. And the games and everything came along with it were very memorable itself. But there's something about the Mario Sunshine game that really piqued my interest and really wanted me to buy it. So I think it's one of my favorite games growing up, and I actually had a chance to play as the Mario Sunshine series, which is great. If you haven't had a chance to, I'd really recommend it. Okay, so now this is the time when I'm going to go back to the Royal Raceway, and I'm going to complete the challenge for that board. Yeah, okay. See everybody jumping up for me for joy? Yeah, that's right. All the applause is for me, the Yoshi. Riding in a Yoshi kart on the Yoshi World, in Yoshi Paradise, and Yoshi. I had the same setup, and I got the same item box friend spree one. So it makes me wonder if there's definitely a way to kind of look into like the RNG as far as if there's like what you get for each item box in each position in that. Now I don't have enough time in the day to do that, but I mean it'd be something to really kind of be interesting to look into. In my previous video for the green tokens, there was one where no matter if you're in 8th place and you got an item box at the very start of the race, and you're a person that you could get 3 item boxes, would get a mushroom, and a mega mushroom, typically speaking, or it'd be 2 mushrooms and a random item typically. Which is so weird, but I noticed it more often than not though. So, if there's rhyme or reason to that, that's a thing in the Mario Kart Tour at least. I'm not sure if it's like anything else, but in this one, because you can have 3 items at a time from each one, that's the case at least for what I've seen previously. Yeah. And so whenever it gets clumped together like that, and after that's an item box, it's just a cluster mess of folks throwing items in front and in back of people, making it utter chaos because everybody's spinning out, going whoa, 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 whoa. But really, they're all just having fun in the sun, and they're having a splash in the water, even though they aren't swimming. They might eventually be. But again, I can't express too how as a little kid I really wanted to go over to the Peach's Castle during the Mario Kart for the 64 so many times. I didn't even want to finish the race. It was just all the way to get there just because I had blast. I had so much of a blast playing Super Mario 64. Really, as a kid, I was just like, there's gotta be more. Gotta put more in the game, right? It's not over yet. There's gotta be more. Well, you rescue the princess and everything, and that's pretty much the end of the game. She bakes you a cake, and that's it. Not to spoil anyone, but that's what technically happens, and that's what you should know. I think Toad shows up to greet you and say thank you too, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it's Peach along with Toads on each side of her, so for 2 of them. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I completed the board for the gold challenges now, as you see. I'm getting coins because you get them in a row, and then the overall total I get is 5 extra rubies. And the rubies you can either apply towards a coin rush, or you can use it to go through the pipe. I think that rubies are better used for the pipe rather than coin rush. I think coin rush is only really viable if there's something really, really cheap you can get pretty often that's really likely to show up pretty often. But the higher end stuff costs between 2,000 to 10,000 per one. And that's just one of them. You know, where your chances of using the cannon, you get 10 items regardless, but they might vary in rarity from common to very rare. So, in my opinion, I think it's much better to use your rubies for the cannon rather than for the coin rush. But in times of past though too, when you've actually gone through and completed a board for the challenge board in the past, they've given you a coin rush ticket sometimes too, where you'll go through a map as Gold Mario and you'll collect coins along the circuit or the raceway. And you'll use it, you can use those for the shop to essentially buy items later on for your driver, your cart, or your glider. Yeah, so that's the gist of Mario Kart Tour, which is, again too, it's a blast to play. I myself used to play the mobile games in general for hours on end. Now I typically don't like to spend all that much time. If there's an auto one too in a way, I don't know why, but autos are a little have their own fun, essentially, where you don't have to really keep track of anything. You don't have to log, you don't have to do anything. You have to log in, but that's all you have to do. You don't have to take control or do much of anything. But again, too, if you want a game that brings back nostalgia and remastered, per se, or just better quality compared to other ones you've seen in the past, definitely pick this game up. I definitely enjoy it. And I'll put my gamer tag, as they say, in the description too if people want to add me, even though I think there's a set limit as to how many friends or people you can use on the app itself. Every time a tour finishes, depending on how many friends you have, will dictate how many coins you get too sometimes, which I didn't realize until I think just a few months ago. But the more friends you have added to the game that play it, the better your chances are of getting more coins at the end of a tour. Just because they usually count your score that you do total from each count. So the more people you have on your list, the more points you're going to get. The more points you have, the better your chances of getting more coins out. It just kind of adds on to each other, which is kind of a great mechanic. With that being said, you can also, once per race map, you can use your item box tickets too to roll in extra time in case you run out of steam, or if you get hit and you get knocked back to 8th place and you're panicking because you're halfway through the last lap on a course. You know, you can use that to give yourself an extra oomph to catch up to the pack and possibly get a better placement. So again, too, I'm about 180 short from a 5-star on that one. But I know, though, too, that, you know, there's only certain limitations you can really get for certain characters with certain karts and certain gliders. And at some point of the day, too, you get to realize, like, okay, I might go back from that, but I'm not sure if it'll really be worth it. We'll see. But this time, you have baby Rosalina. Yeah, so they've taken a lot of the characters from previous games from this game, and they've included other characters, too, you haven't even seen before in other games. In this game itself, too, like King Bomb-omb, too. I haven't seen anywhere else besides the mobile app itself, which is really cool. I think it's a great addition, too, and he's cute, really kind of cute. He's more spherical, his mustache is extra big. You know, things like that, too. So if they bring back other characters, too, from other Mario series, it'd be really cool to see as well. But coming up here, I'll probably be done with it shortly here. I think I'm going to finish the circuit and then probably call it a day. But I'm trying to think of if there's other characters you would like to see, too, on the Mario Kart Tour to actually race or play as, too. Recommend or suggest in the comments. We read these and follow on, too, so I'll be curious to see what people say. And then, along with the characters, I'm trying to think, like, if there's any other, like, side characters that are kind of interesting in the Mario series, too, that really haven't been added to the series at all. You know, like in the last one, for Mario Kart for the Wii or the Switch? Yeah, for Mario Kart 8, they included Link from Legend of Zelda, which I thought was pretty neat, too. Which is, like, its own, like, series, but they included him in a Mario Kart game, which is kind of odd, but it's really cool, though, at the same time. His own racetrack, too. Trying to think. Can't think too well. Not usually. But again, another Tokyo Blur map, where I'm going to use Mario Hoppy, and we'll race around in the Yoshi kart for this one. But yeah, essentially new content comes out for this game every 2 weeks, typically speaking. So it's not a game where you have to keep up to date immediately every day. Like, that's the nice thing about this game too, is you don't have to be up to date every single day. There are rewards if you log in 10 days in a row, so that asks people to come back and play. But once you clear a lot of the challenges or missions, you know, you're done. Like, you're good to go. You don't have to play anymore for a bit. So you can either think of it like you have to play a lot now, grind through everything, or you can play a little bit by a little bit if you have something that's busy in your day that takes priority over this. Because I would not tell anybody you must play this over, you know, your medical exam that you have to take for your certification. Whatever the case is, like, that is absolutely not what I'm trying to say. But it is something to kind of de-stress and kind of involve yourself a little bit. At least it's distressing to me, just because you really don't have to do a whole lot. It's nice. It's not completely automatic, but it's a nice way for me to de-stress and kind of go through my day. And usually the better part is just to wake up and do these in the morning. I kind of feel like you're getting on with your day. You know, again, too, it doesn't have to be for hours. Could be just like 15 minutes if you want to, or depends on your ability to do so. Yeah. So with that being said, I think this will be probably about like the last course we do here, and then I'll probably end the recording. But this is another one too where you have to keep the combo going. And when you do a combo, again too, to keep it going, you either have to go over a jump, you have to do a boost, or to use an item, typically speaking. So you're going to see me using a combination of all three of those here. Oh, and getting coins too, also extends boost too. So if you see straight coins on the pathway, be sure to get them. They'll extend your combo to a point, and then you have to use an item, of course, but they'll extend it at good points. So right now mine's at 18, and that's pretty good. I'm about halfway through the course right now, and still maintaining a combo, which is great. If you go the whole lap from start to finish, I'm sorry, not the whole lap, but the whole course, start to finish, whether it's 1 lap, 3 laps, or maybe it's just a lap itself. I think it's just maybe a lap, but it says non-stop combo, which is pretty cool, I think at least, just to say that you could do as many combos as you could, or you didn't stop. Yeah, New Peach, wave up your hands. Oh yeah, Oh yeah. So 37, yeah, I just demolished 23, so that's great. And I got a few more coins along the way too. And it'll tell you, on another side note, when you have max coins for that day, and when you have max EXP you can get too. But that'll typically just show you in one of the panels for that. So that's fine. Last but not least, we have one free pipe charge. So this one's just free, 1 out of 100, and then so did I drive ones. So you have to get so many duplicates to improve your level, and as you get higher, you have to get more of them. So not that big of a deal. But yeah, I think that'll be the end of this video though. So thank you for staying tuned and watching the Mario Kart Tour Summer Festival Tour for the meantime. The first part of it. 12 days left. So coming up, I'll release another video about the second part. Mainly the second challenge board will be released in 5 days. So come back then, and I'll see you then. This is Zelly. See ya!